Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of El Koki Otaku. Today with us we have a very special guest. She voices Talia in I Was Reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Okay, that was another essay that we pulled out of the bag of the anime industry. We're gonna keep next time I always say it's a novel. Yeah. No, also, she voices Arthur Pencilgon from Shangri-La Frontier, Miranjo from Ranking of Kings, Captain Kayoko Huang from Fire Force, Charlotte Galette from One Piece, Sakura from Urusei Yatsura, Hyura from Helck. We'll work with that one. and the late Rena Nakano from the Quintessential Quintuplets. So please, without any further ado, give it up for Brianna Roberts.
Woo! I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, guys. We're gonna have fun.
Thanks to you for joining us today. It will be a very fun episode. All your a great amount of your titles are super long. Like the name,
Well, there's so many shows that, they have to keep coming up with original titles, so they just keep getting longer and longer and longer.
And
it's
usually
like one word. It's like it was so easy when it was just the one word. And like, yeah, everybody knows that episode. It's like, no, now we have to make the essay.
3 years ago or 5 years ago, I used to have a rule it was like, hey, just watch 3 episodes any series. If you don't get catch up with those 3 first episodes, you can move on to the next series. I feel like with today's thing, just with the title, it's enough. Just read the title, and if the title doesn't convince you already, I think it's good, because they're huge. And let's start with the first one of the latest one that has been a big hit in the anime world. Talk about Shangri-La Frontier. Get yourself caught up to with the Lightspeed recap.
Lightspeed recap. Oh no, I should have done my homework. Okay. All right, Shangri-La Frontier is, of course, an isekai. It's about this guy. I say it's an isekai, kind of. It's like he doesn't go into another world. They're like living in their real life, and then they play video games with like virtual reality type of, goggles, head stuff on. And then they go into these, what they're called God tier games, which are like super advanced, amazing technology, like it's real, like you're there. So isekai in the sense that most of the story takes place in a video game, but it does also exist in the real world and they have their lives. But we actually know pretty little about them in their regular lives because we really just care about the storyline in the video game. So it's them going through the video game. You have the different characters. You have the... oh god! I should have done my homework, y'all. I should have known. Okay, let me script out my idea of what synopsis of each of these shows. They're trying to.
That's how you guys know we are not scripting this.
That's the best way.
Live. They're trying to beat this main boss. Like there's this. And I don't want to give it away, but they're fighting this one boss.
Go for it.
So
Spoil.
These 3 characters come together one's a pro gamer, one is, she's level 99 in the Shangri-La Frontier game, so she's really high. And they all team up, and they're trying to beat this main boss, and so the whole story takes place of them trying to beat this unique boss in the game. So once someone beats this boss, it disappears for everyone. Like it's not like the boss stays around anymore. So it's them trying to figure out what they can do to beat this boss. So you have to watch the show to figure out how they figure it out. And that was a horrible synopsis. Just go Google it. It'll be much better than what I just told you.
You convinced me already to watch it. And you have a very interesting character, Arthur, the giant killer. Or not lifer slayer. So it is like an OP character, right?
Yeah, so she's one of the main 3 that they team up. Her name is Arthur Pencilgon / the giant killer / the player killer. And then her real life name in the game is Towa Amane, and she's a model in real life, but everyone doesn't know this. And so her in-game character also looks like how she looks in real life. And so people just think that she's made her in-game character look like this famous model because she just wants to look like the famous model. And there are other characters or players in the game who make themselves look like Towa Amane because she's beautiful. But no one actually knows that she's the real Towa within the game.
I mean, that's a good way to hide your identity in some way.
Right? And so...
Right in plain sight.
She gets all of her levels because she's level 99 because she kills all the other players. So she has a reputation for killing people in the game. And so that comes into play in the end because within the context of the game, if you kill another player, you get all of their stuff. And then you get points and you keep moving on. But then if someone kills you eventually, then you lose all of your points, all of your everything too. So she's always got a target on her back because she's killed so many people, but that's also why she's so good at fighting and has so much stuff because she has killed so many people. And that comes into play. But again, you have to watch it to find out exactly why.
Honestly, this sounds like a mix between Sword Art Online and Ready Player One. It's like both of these concepts just merged together into one anime.
It's a lot of fun. It's really funny. I'm blanking. Hold on, I'm looking up on my phone because my brain has just completely decided to go away. What is the main character's name? Like, I literally say his name all the time. Well, I say that actually. She mostly just makes fun of him and calls him mean things constantly. Yes, Sunraku. I was like, why can't I remember? She like rarely ever calls him his real name. She always is calling him Bird Brain and things like that. I can't believe my brain just deleted that from Sunraku. Yes.
I mean, it is early in the morning too.
It is, and I only just had my coffee, so it hasn't like gotten in my bloodstream yet.
Excused.
Thank you.
No, I mean.
And I have a 2-year-old, so that, I get
even more so.
All the excuses, at least for another year, right?
We're all waking up, to be honest. Like I was just drinking my energy drink to be ready. Like, hey, come on, let's go get some gasoline because we need to start up here. So one of our guys, Edwin from the team, he watched the series. He loved it. He mentioned, he told me, hey, don't get deceptive because the main character looks different from all the standard anime, but the story, the plot is great, and he loved this series. So definitely now I need to watch it.
It's so good. And it is funny because when the main character creates his in-game persona, he chooses a bird head. So the main character is a man body with a bird head, which at first is like, is this really what we're going to be looking at for the duration of the show? And it is. But you get used to it, and it's so funny, and it leads to a lot of jokes and funny moments. So it's like one of my favorite shows that I've watched, not just like as an actor, but as a consumer as well. So I highly recommend it.
I know you have a busy life with so many voice acting up, now a 2-year-old kid. Have you had any chance to video game on your free time?
Okay, so no, until recently. So I was never a gamer. I never really played video games. And then after we had a child, we'd be so tired in the evenings, we just like veg and sit in front of the TV. And it's like, we should do something that's slightly more interactive together rather than just like sitting and watching TV for our 2 hours of adult life without a child before we go to bed. So we started playing, our first game that we started playing was Zelda Breath of the Wild. And so we played it together. We finished it. It was so fun. And then we've started Tears of the Kingdom. And so then we've had some other, like we've done Mario Kart and just some other random games on Switch. But we're new to the video game world, but we're really liking it.
Nice. So would you see yourself getting to video games like your main character here in this series?
I would enjoy watching. I'm really bad. Like, mostly I'm not the one who's controlling it. I'm mostly just, like, watching. My husband's playing, and I'm watching, and I'll, like, give my 2 cents on how to, figure something out or do something. But especially...
Directing him.
Yeah, directing him. The brains of the operation. Definitely not the bronze. I'm really bad at fighting. Like, anytime it's, like, a monster or boss, I just, like, hand it to him. I was like, I can't do it.
But then you're like, oh, it's on the right, it's on the left. Yeah, you gotta go up here, you gotta go down there.
I'll figure it out. This is what you're supposed to do to get it.
It's so obvious.
Why don't you do it? It's like, because I don't want to.
Oh, we've been there, done that.
Well, talking about a character that can handle anything that comes to his new life. Talking about new life and another of your next series. Talking about the series I Was Reincarnated as the 7th Prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Where you had the main character of Talia. For those who haven't seen this novel title, how would you describe this isekai?
Okay. Moment of truth. This is sometimes the reality of being a voice actor. So my character doesn't show up until episode 8, and then she's in all of the remaining episodes, and then I think she'll be in the next season. I never went back and watched the first episodes before she appeared. Just not having time between, I work full time, I'm a voice actor, I have a 2-year-old, so sometimes there's just not the opportunity to go back and watch the beginning of it. So I can't really tell you what exactly happened in the first 7 episodes.
But I got it. But those up and watch the 7 Prince. It's a isekai. Very colorful, full of magic. This is the story of a guy who he loved magic, but at the level that he loved it so much that he loved to feel the magic. When I say feel the effect when they're attacking him. So he died, burning fire, enjoying the experience of being killed by fire magic. So when he reincarnated, now he's a powerful 7th Prince, and he just wants to study magic. Mm-hmm. But he, like many isekai, he reincarnated with the past knowledge. So OP character, he wants to live in the background. But by accident, he's not living in the background. He made up a big demon by accident, which he thought the demon was super fear in the kingdom. And he's like, yeah, bro, I'm going to own you. And he just owned the demon, and he making his pet for real. And now he's an OP character. And your character was a very interesting because you have a backstory of not able to control their curse. Mm-hmm. And a very creepy curse. The curse of
1,000 pains is hers. It's super interesting. So you have this kind of group of misfit magicians, magic users, but they have these abilities that they were born with, but they can't control them. So they accidentally inflicted upon other people without real control. And so they've become outcasts from society, and they've all kind of come together as their little band of misfits, and they call themselves the Assassin's Guild. And they're first kind of introduced maybe as bad guys, that they're gonna get the prince, they're gonna kill. I mean, they're called the Assassin's Guild. They have another name. A lot of these, they have multiple names. What's their other? They have another term that they go by.
Can't recall right now.
But they have something else they go by too. But long story short, the 7th Prince helps them learn how to control their magic. So now they know how to use their abilities. And now they're having a fresh look on life, on what they can do now that they don't necessarily have to be outcasts. My character, Talia, she's the boobs of the bunch, as I call her.
Yep.
She's the sexy lady of the group. You got to have one in every anime. You've got to have at least one. And her magical ability is, if she inflicts pain on herself and she's looking at you, she inflicts that pain on you as well. So she's kind of this interesting character because I believe that she feels the pain too. It's not like she's immune to it. So if she slices her arm and looks at you, your arm is sliced too, but she's a badass, so she keeps going anyways, even though she's bleeding out from her arm, and then the other person has been, disabled. So she's kind of got a creepy powers.
And I was so surprised with this character. I thought it would be just new character in the story because the story keep opening doors, but they were the door to wrap up the first season, which was wild. It was great season finale so far, and your character, at least they answered many of our questions because yes, she can inflict pain, but the last episode we saw that she can inflict also feelings, good feelings. So we're like, whoa, we the fans, we had that question, we had theory. Thank you for answering that.
Yeah, so it's super interesting. I'm excited that they've left the story open for all these characters to return in season 2. We'll see. They might just, you never know. You never know with anime. Maybe they'll just be a part of the first few episodes, and then they'll have their new mains that are introduced, or maybe they'll be around forever. We'll find out.
And talking about character that we don't know for how long it's going to be with us, because we thought we just a side character and it resulted to be the main character. Talking about ranking of the kings, we had the character of Miranjo. OMG.
I love this show. If you haven't watched it, I tell you to go watch this show. It's super interesting. The animation style is beautiful. It's very different from traditional anime. The story is about this little prince, Boji, who is deaf and mute, and it's about his kind of a coming of age story for him and his brother, the prince. And my character, Miranjo, she actually starts off as the magic mirror. So she's a little bit of a villain, I would say, and because I don't want to give away the end because I really want
go for it.
Go
It's been released for months. It's been released for months at this point.
Okay.
I'm not losing my only chance to fan about this character. So yeah, guys, join me here.
So she starts out as the magic mirror, and I remember when I first went in to record for this, the director didn't really know because we don't always have all the information up front. She's like, I don't know where this character is going. I don't know how much she's going to appear. She seems like she's probably going to be the main villain. So we kind of got to experience it and figure it out as the story went along, which she does. So she does end up kind of being the villain. She's the one pulling the strings behind the scenes. And she has a really interesting character development. It's a story of redemption. She does some pretty awful things, and you learn about her past, and she's been alive for a very long time. She looks to be, teenager-ish age, but she's not. She's much older. And I'm so, it's so ingrained in you not to give away the story. She falls in love with somebody. And it really is just a story of redemption. Can she be forgiven for these awful things that she has done? And the answer is yes. And you get to see her journey. The moment when she really breaks down, just when he accepts, it's so good. It's so good. Okay, you can fan about it.
Would you say that her actions in some way were partly justified because of the horrible past she had?
I mean, she did have a really horrible past in childhood, and you really get to delve deeply into that in the story. I don't want to say it's justified because I think causing pain and suffering to others is never justified. But you can see why she did what she did, how she ended up down the dark path that she went down. So you can understand her villain arc, I guess, why she became a villain, why she did what she did. But it was still wrong and it was still bad. And I think she always knew that deep down, and they kind of touch on her feelings of that throughout the series as she starts to experience guilt for what she's done because she takes actions to try to rectify and to seek forgiveness for what she's done. So yeah, it's a really interesting. She's got such a good story.
Ranking of the Kings is a masterpiece. For those who haven't watched it yet, by the way, there's a new generation, new subculture that we enjoy spoilers, and sometimes the best way for me to attach me to a series with spoilers. So guys, here we go. So Ranking of the Kings, don't get deceived with the animation. Yes, it looks childish. No, it is not at all. It is a very... I don't want to say 18 plus because I don't think it's rated 18 plus, I'm sure.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't think it is, but that's the thing, yeah. Speaking of the animation looks like it comes straight out of a fairy tale book. Mm-hmm. And I think it's on purpose that they do that. But yes, when you see, it's like Made in Abyss too. You think it's for kids, and then you see, oh my god, no! These themes are very mature, and what they show is extremely mature. For Ranking of Kings, it's more on the older teen, young adult side for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However, it can be, you have a family, you have kids around, you can watch it because there will be something to check. However, the theme, the topic, the main drama going on, it will not make sense for kids. It will make more sense for adults. And talking about adult analysis here, Miranjo is a great ethic case where there's no right or wrong answer here. And you can have a big group of 60 people, 100 people in the classroom, and show the case or watch it all, you guys have hours discussing about Miranjo action, where they right, they were wrong, and I'll bet you have a very great balanced voting here, where she's like justified, she's not justified, she did great, she did wrong, would you do the same? Because it's a very complex situation, and when we saw on season 1 it was already complex, season 2 added more fire, more wood to the fire. When they told the backstory, who was really Miranjo, what happened in her childhood, what was the deal with a demon that she did, that we never thought that one random demon that showed up in season 1, we just saw it as a background demon in the story, and we saw that it was a big effect in season 2, so piece of art, honestly.
It is a very complex story. There's a lot of emotional layers, and they do such a good job. So many of the characters get a good arc and growth of their character. You know, a lot of shows, you'll only really get good development for a few of the characters. But by the end of this show, so obviously, you know all of the main characters, but even a lot of the supporting characters, you really know a lot about them, about their backstory, about why they believe and do what they do. The story writing in this anime is superb.
All side characters have a big impact. A great, nice story. They can make like sub story of Ranking the Kings.
Each character could be its own sub story.
Even the snake have a great story. Even the pet. I'm like, what?
I cried with the snake.
Yes.
So much.
The snake, the mom, the stepmom, the king, the antagonist, Oaken, everybody have a big story. So, I'm talking about big story and complex story. One of your characters that is a key character in this lovely story, talking about the Quintessential Quintuplets, where you have the main super important role of Rena Nakano. In other words, the mom of the Quintessential Quintuplets.
Such a good series. It has such a supportive fan base of people who are just so dedicated to the series. I am very fortunate I got to voice the mom of the Quintessential Quintuplets. Her name is Rena. Some people pronounce it Rena, but I think Rena is more what is probably correct. She doesn't appear much through the series, obviously, because she did. So when she does appear, it's always going to be in flashbacks. But it was particularly in the movie that came out a couple years ago that you really got to see more of her and her interactions with her daughters, and a little bit of why their stepdad doctor person, like why is he their guardian, because he's not really their dad. So there's a lot of interesting backstory you get to see in the movie. So if you like the show and you haven't watched the movie, you should watch it. You get to learn more about Mother Dearest and more of their story.
I was surprised with Rena, the character, because Rena, like you mentioned, Rena doesn't show up very often, but in a short screen time, she had to deliver why she was so cute, why she was so beautiful, why she did what she did. I was like, this character that with small time you need to deliver so much, which I think the work was done, because for those having I read the manga. I'm a big fan of Quintessential Quintuplets, and it was an interesting approach. Season 1, Season 2, and they wrap it up with a movie, which went to the big screen. And in that big screen, we see all the backstory of who Rena was. And there are rumors. No, there's rumor. I think there's confirmed. There's a new OVA episode called the After Honeymoon episode. So we're looking forward to see. I haven't read anything about that. So
I haven't either. So I'm in the dark too about it. But we always hope everything gets a dub. So
definitely. Which for me was like, when I saw the news, I was like, yes, because, but small spoiler. When we saw the last movie and they did this in the manga, they left a cliffhanger over there. It was kind of cruel. At the end of the story, they show up the main character waking up. So we were like, whoa. So the wedding happened or was just a dream? Where are we placed here? And they left us over there. But now, with the movie called The Honeymoon something, now we're like, oof, okay, so it really happened. So can we calm down and take it as it happened? So anyway, we're really looking forward to do it. And I think, I'm not sure it's going to be in the big screen or it's going to be on Crunchyroll streaming, but we're about to find out.
We'll
2025.
find out. My hope is, that they decide to go back and write the story about Rena before she has children, or maybe even when she has all her little tiny babies. I'm like, come on, an anime about a mom.
Definitely.
And the struggles of having 5 at the same time.
Oh my gosh, with just my one, I don't even know how it's possible. I don't even know how it's possible.
Well, I don't know if they ever said it, but by that time, was she already alone? Like, was she already?
I believe so. It's been a minute since I've watched the movie, but I think for most of it, I want to say she was alone.
Yeah, that's what I got from it too.
Spoiler, guys. Well, don't cry with the spoiler. Rena's story. So yes, she was all alone because technically she had like an affair with this teacher. Who by the time he got her pregnant, he just bailed out, abandoned her. So yeah, she got through her pregnancy of 5 years alone, and the doctor, who was her doctor, took care of her. I don't remember why she died. Which illness was it?
I mean, kind of like an anime. She was sick. She was in the hospital, and we don't always know.
Yeah.
The mysterious mom illness that you have in anime.
It's like Disney kills off the parents. Anime does the same thing, at least for mothers, for sure.
The movie brought the novella to the story because we saw the real dad showing up to the story to one of them, and he's like, hey, I'm your dad, and this is what I want you to do. So we're like, whoa, we're back to the Hispanic novella here.
I know, like, right. Oh, he actually shows up. Wow.
And we thought it would be a big drama. We have one of the sisters stepping up like, hell no, get the hell out of here, boy. You did crap from our mom, so don't dare to put pressure. It was a great novella. So
it was very good.
But let's leave the novella behind the drama. Let's go to real life. Brianna, sorry. How you made it to the voice acting world?
By accident, kind of. So I've always been a stage actor. I've done stage since I was a little girl. I actually went to college for film production, and I graduated from college, and I was working at a small production studio, and we were doing an original animation project, and we had a really small, teeny tiny budget. And so my boss was like, well, Brianna, you're an actor, so why don't you just voice this character and save us $1 so we don't have to hire someone to come in and do it? And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And so I did it, and I loved it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. How can I do more of this? I was just so inspired, and that, like, this is what I want to do with my acting. So from that point on, I just started taking every class that I could find that was specifically about voiceover, then just started taking more acting classes in general. I mean, I have taken so many classes through the years. An absurd amount. I still take classes. I love taking classes. You know, you're always a student. You never arrive and don't have more to learn or grow. So I started doing voiceover. I got representation. When I recorded my first, my very first anime role was Mirei in Conception. And it would be about exactly what you think a show called Conception would be about. And I hadn't watched anime. Like, I was not an anime fan. I hadn't watched anime before I started working in anime. And so when I go in and I record for just look up the show if you want a good time. I was like, oh, this is what anime is. And so my first experience recording anime was this really trashy fan service show called Conception. And then quickly realized that there was much more to the genre of anime. I think my second thing that I booked was on Fairy Tail, which is, a legend, a classic. And I then started watching Fairy Tail. So I was like, okay, let's see what all this is about. So I started watching Fairy Tail. I fell in love with anime. I wish I had been exposed to it as a child. I think it would have would have really appealed to me. I was always kind of quirky and weird and did never feel like I fit in. So I feel like it would have helped me find other community and people who embraced my weird quirkiness. But I'm still happy to have found it later in life. And I'm still always trying. I mean, there's always new anime coming out. Like, there's too much to consume. And I'm still trying to just catch up and watch, like, the old classics so I can have my foundation. But slowly but surely, working through it. So that was my weird way.
Are you going to expose your kid to anime?
I will. I don't know at what age. I don't know at what age I would. I haven't thought that far ahead. We're still just watching Barney and Winnie the Pooh, so we haven't gotten there yet.
But that's a good thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I definitely will expose him to it, and age-appropriate ones when he's a little bit older. And we'll see if he likes it. I won't force it on him if he doesn't like it, but definitely we'll let him see some of it.
That's the thing about anime, right? That's the thing about anime. It's like it's literally made. You have anime for every single age, and even more so now that it's so accessible for the consumer. Whereas when we were growing up, it really wasn't. It's like, okay, is it even showing on TV? If you didn't have any channels that even aired anime, it's like, well, you did not really have access to it unless you wanted to like pirate it. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's like right now it's like I can just switch on Netflix, I can just switch on Hulu, Disney, whatever, and they'll have a lot of anime super accessible.
Anime's become much more mainstream in the last 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see you're watching with your kid Barney?
Yeah, Barney the dinosaur.
Yeah, that's still going.
Well, no, it's all rerun stuff that had already. I loved Barney, like, as a kid, and so I was, like, determined to find... But you can't find it streaming anywhere. I had to get DVDs.
Really?
Okay, do people have DVDs? I found some DVDs at a thrift store, and we watch our Barney DVDs.
Oh.
And he loves it.
I was in shock, because that was what I used to watch when I was a kid, and I'm like, whoa, what? It's still going?
It's timeless. It's timeless. Good for children of all decades.
That's kind of funny that we're talking about this, because my case, I will tell the story. I was introduced to anime by accident. Not in a bad way, not to insult, by ignorance of the parents when they saw anything animated, it was for kids. Mm-hmm. And back home in Puerto Rico have a very, I would say, 30-year-old in back of culture, especially with the anime. So many people, or the older generation, when they say anime, they believe it's for kids. It's cartoon. It's something funny for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents, under that philosophy that animation is for kids always, they didn't know what Adult Swim was by then. So they used to take me out of my bed and put me to watch cartoons, muñequitos, like Hispanic family said. And it was Ronin Kenshin. One of my first anime, where he's like sliding people with a sword, and he didn't know what the hell they were making to watch. Ram and a Half, which have a great humor.
It's so wholesome.
Until years later, when I was like 15 years old, I'm with a cousin, and he's way older than me. And he's speaking with my dad, trying to convince him to watch like anime. And the story about this samurai killing people, and he's better ass. And my dad like, no, I don't watch muñequitos, I don't watch cartoon. And suddenly I'm like, oh my god, I know that one. And he'll like, how do you know that? Because I watch it. Who the hell allowed you to watch that? And I'm like, you took me out from my bed to watch cartoons. We was running Kenshin. And he's like, oh my god, how the hell that happened? And I called my mom, Mita, how are you watching that? And I'm like, oh yeah, I know about anime. But anime to this day is a way different culture, especially and the exposure. And the market is growing so fast that I don't think they'll stop at this. And I keep saying, the introduction of the new countries onto the industry, it will be a big boom in the anime, because even that the people keep saying anime is only Japanese, the art, the technique, they're all the same. So that's a definition discussion there. But leaving all the theoretical behind, going back to the anime world, let's go to talking about ethics and disaster and a new way of life. Talking about Fire Force Season 2, when you had the character, the Captain Kayoko Huang.
Yes. Okay. So she's the captain of Company 6. They are the medical research company. She's the one that heals Shinra in I can't remember, somewhere in the first season when he gets like super wounded. Her fire ability is actually healing with fire. So how you do that, I don't know, but she does it. Super excited. They just announced season 3 finally because it's been so long. So season 3 will come out, I think, January, I believe, is when it will come out. So excited because Captain Huang, they kind of left some doors open that maybe she's going to be in the arc that the next season opens with. We'll find out. I don't know. But I'm super duper excited. Obviously, it's such a cool, unique show. Interesting concept. The animation is really cool. I just can't wait for us to dive into season 3 and see what happens.
I am a big fan of Fire Force, like a big fan. For those who haven't watched Fire Force, how do you describe this masterpiece that many people underestimate?
How do you describe it? Epic fire coming out of hands and feet and manipulate. That's not a good. As you see, my weakness is describing shows. I am not.
I gotcha. Don't worry. For those who haven't seen what Fire Force, so we're talking about an apocalyptic scenario where for some reason there's like a fire possession where people just light up in fire suddenly.
Spontaneous combustion.
Which
don't know why. It just is a thing.
Which later we find out what's going on here. But something that I love about Fire Force was not only the action, that story of the spontaneous combustion. It was more about the ethic of society, because later we find out there's a big plot between the Church of the Sun and the Society of the Firefighter. I forgot. The Fire Force, the guys.
The Fire Forces, them.
And it gets complex. It goes super complicated, and for me, it really caught my attention. And the way they wrap up season 2, they threw all through the window, like, okay, we're going all out here. And they left that window open, so we have been for a year, like, come on, guys. The story got so good, we need to keep digging in, because the main character, the main captain of the 8th Squadron, he knew there was something odd from the beginning. And from the first episode, he's like, yeah, we're just fighting, saving people. But my job here is not only to save people, it's to dig in, because something smells fishy here. Mm-hmm. And great series. I really love it. Look, I'm so excited for the new season. Now,
I'm trying to look at when did it come? When did season 2 come out? Because has it been almost 2 years? The first season was in 2019, and the second season was 2020. So it has been 4 years since the second season came out. So wow. I know. I was like, I feel like it's been a really long time. So yeah, it's been a very long break. We're very excited that it's coming back. I actually need to go through and just binge watch the whole thing again, because I haven't watched it since we finished it. I guess it was 2021 probably when we finished recording, or maybe the end of 2020. I know we were recording it during the pandemic, at least some of the episodes, because I remember recording it from home in my closet before we had really figured out the home studio situation. And everyone was just like trying to do what we could, and we all had different mics and like clothes around us. So I do remember that was part of recording season 2, was from my closet before I had a home studio.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't remember watching the dub in 2020. I remember it being a little bit later though. So that makes sense.
I left you alone. That's what happened. I was so excited. You're like, no, I can't now. I'm like, screw this. I'm going solo from now on. And I finish it. But I will watch it again too, just because this series is just like Attack on Titan. You can watch it 2, 3 times, and every time you watch it more, you start understanding details.
Things. It's a very complicated, there's a complicated political plot that you don't realize is taking place earlier on, and then as you start finding out more obvious things as the season goes on, or the series goes on, you start noticing things from earlier that you're like, oh, it's very good.
And I must say, along with I was just going to say, one good thing about Fire Force 2 is the sounds, like the sound effects and everything are so crisp and deep, and also like the intro and outro music are really, really good.
Cold Rain, the rock band heavy metal, and they're the best opening song in English. Only that they dropped the F-bomb during the part, which is like, damn it, now I cannot play this in the gym. But it's a great story. And they try to explain, even this fantasy, they try to use some science to explain the concept. For example, there's one of the characters, main antagonists on the second season, which is to be the younger brother. And to play also, how did he teleport? He transport, and they're like, oh no, he's not transporting like magic. He just by fire. He's expanding all the environment around him. His molecule level. When in theory, you expand all the molecule for 1 second. They use science. They try to use science to explain this. And the story of the mom, I still cannot get over that story of who is the demon haunting them. What happened to the mom? Those horns in the eyes. I was like, God, you bring the gore here.
Yes, another one of those. It's not for the wee children.
Yes. But moving on from fire to water, one of the very lovely series, never-ending series, and within someday they will really find the treasure. Talking about One Piece, when you had the character of Galette Charlotte.
So she's one of the Big Mom pirates in the Whole Cake Island arc. Man, she's so fun. When I first got to go in and record and saw her character design, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cool looking. And I have still never seen anyone cosplay her. So if you're out there and you're listening, go cosplay as Galette and send me a picture of it on social media. She's got such a cool design. So somebody do it. A lot of fun. The Whole Cake Island arc is just, all of One Piece is over the top and wild and fun and crazy. But that one's a long one. Like the Whole Cake Island arc lasts for a minute. It keeps going.
The whole series lasts for a minute.
It's the show that never dies. It was a lot of fun. I got to fight Nami in one of the episodes, so that was cool to get to fight her. My devil fruit power is I control or manipulate butter. It looks like water and it acts like water. So for all intents and purposes, she's a water bender, but actually it's butter, but it just looks like water.
So we're just going to go cause heart attacks over there. Butter.
Like butter just exists in the universe that she can just like call it forth and be like, here's my butter.
That's so funny.
Let me ask you: are you watching? I have to confess, I'm not watching One Piece at this point of my time in my life. I gave up. There's no. This is the reason, guys. 1,000-something episode, and I have to say something because by the time you watch this episode, probably 1 year after today, there's a high chance still in production in One Piece. So 1,000-something episode. I have over 15 series per season, every 3 months to catch up. I'm like, how am I supposed to put on my super big schedule with podcast, anime to watch, 1,000-something episodes? There's no way. I can't.
It's impossible. I haven't watched all that. I started somewhere around the 600, like when I first started watching One Piece, was around 600-ish, I want to say. And then I'm only somewhere in the 800s. Like I'm not caught up. I'm not even actively watching it. So I'm just getting further behind. But I watched some of it, which 200 is still a good number.
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
One Piece is ranked number 16 in number of episodes, 1,112.
What has more?
It's been running
1,112.
1,112. It's been running since October 20th, 1999.
Woof.
Let me clear as today, because there's a good chance by the time you watch this episode, there's another 10 episodes.
Yeah. Of course.
But let's slow down something that we can watch in 2 seasons. Talking about Yatsura.
Urusei Yatsura.
Thank you. You had the character of Sakura.
Oh my god. So this is the reboot of the show from the 80s. I was so excited to be a part of this show. It's just classic anime slapstick humor. It is so funny. This one plays on High Dive. So funny. We've dubbed the first 2 seasons. I think there's 4 seasons total of the show. I don't know about dubbing the next 2 seasons. You know, a lot of times if it gets dubbed, really depends on are people watching it? Like, do the studios want to spend the money to keep dubbing it if no one's watching it? So go watch Urusei Yatsura so they'll dub the next 2 seasons.
It's so funny, bro.
Oh, it's so funny. So I voice Sakura, who is a shrine maiden and also the school nurse. So it's at a high school, and so she's older than everyone, but she's the sexy nurse that all the boys like. And she wants nothing to do with them because they're high schoolers. She is so stoic and then goes crazy. She's like either here or like there's not much in between for Sakura.
They kill me in anime. They go, oh, she's an old one. How old she is? 26. Dude, guys, slow down. What the heck?
She's so young.
Oh, man.
So, Urusei Yatsura is definitely one of those underrated anime that people, for some reason, it has gone under the radar for some reason. Mm-hmm. And people haven't been exposed too much to it. Also because it is a remake, or is that how we say it? A reboot, yeah, of the original series. Thank goodness it's a reboot, though. When I first saw it, I was like, wait, is this anime new? Because it still had those elements that it kind of looked like it was still done in the 80s, but with very crisp line work. Mm-hmm. That it's like, okay, no, it's definitely new, but it still has that vibe. However, yes, it is so funny. It is one of those anime that I say, if you had like a really, really hard day and you just want to chill, put on Urusei Yatsura, laugh it up a little bit, you're going to be good to go for the rest of the day.
You will definitely laugh if you watch it. It's funny because at conventions, I always ask people, like, is anyone watching Urusei Yatsura? And there will be like one person in the audience who's like, woo! And they're like going crazy, and they're the one person. I'm like, you! Yes! Everyone,
loyal fan base, though.
Yes, the fan base. Because if they do watch it, people love it. And then other people are like, huh? I'm like, go watch it. Just go watch it. You'll be addicted.
It is kind of nostalgia. And I will be honest with you. I have to confess, sometimes they surprise me how they do this project. Not because they reboot, because anime back then, like everything on TV, the humor was so wild compared with today's day.
Yeah.
Many jokes on landing things that they're like banned from social media and everywhere communications. And when I see the series, like, whoa, they took the challenge. Are they going to do it again? Another one that is about, I think they're working on, it's already on the remake, is Ranma and a Half, which, again, like Urusei Yatsura, they're the same family. I mean, not the same production or artist, but the same timeline, where anime humor was
different. It was different. Yep.
We enjoyed back then. Today they were like, I mean, can we laugh about this? It's funny, but they're going to crucify us if we make any joke in social media about this. So no. But go watch it. It's nostalgia. That's technically the original anime. Not the origin. When anime was having I would say the wake up
Renaissance.
Renaissance. One of the
first Renaissance.
Yeah.
When we were transitioning from VHS to DVD maybe, and downloading series back through LimeWire and getting virus on a computer. At that time.
The good old days, you know.
Dial up, why not?
Mom, get off the phone! I have to restart it again!
I always say the joke, I broke a computer through LimeWire. I got a virus that I never make it back. And
oh no!
That never understood what happened there. He doesn't know about that. If I tell them, oh yeah, remember that computer that is on the list of working? Yeah, it was me. I was playing download a game, Zelda game, which I activated the virus and the virus eat the computer. Yeah, it went just black screen and never make it back.
Oh no.
But going to wrap it up, one of the series that I think this one is on high def too. Talking about Helck, which is the character of Hyura
Hyura. It's really hard to say, especially if you look at how it's spelled. You're like, wow, how do you pronounce Hyura? This has been such a surprising fan favorite. Like, fans just really like this show. It takes there is the demon world and there is the human world, and they like exist in different dimensions. And the series opens with they're doing like these games, competitions for the new demon lord, because the demon lord died defending the demons. And so now you have all the contenders, Hyura being one of them, who want to be the next demon lord. And they're doing these games. And then lo and behold, this person as in human shows up, Helck, who wants to compete in the games, and he wants to be the demon lord. And they're like, who is this guy? Why is he here? He's our mortal enemy. We don't like humans, blah, blah, blah. And so they start out trying to rig the games where he's going to lose because they don't want him to win, the person who's organizing. And then as the story goes on, they start to realize, okay, he's kind of a nice guy. And they go off on this little merry band of misfits, all the contenders, the main contenders for Demon Lord. And they go on an adventure and a quest together. And they discover that the humans are coming back with hero powers. And they're not understanding how humans now have wings and kind of like superpowers. And they're still trying to figure out why Helck is fighting for the demons and not for the humans. And so you get more of his story. And it's also really funny. So this sounds like kind of a serious plot, and the plot does have serious elements, but it's also just really funny. And Andrew Love, I think, is who voices Helck, and he just does a wonderful job. He's so funny, and like, his big, deep, beefy voice. It's just been a lot of fun to be on. And Hyura, my character, she's like she's a demon, but she looks like a blue elf, is what she looks like. And she just is really good at sword fighting, and she's really strategic. She reminds me a lot of, not because she's blue, but her character reminds me a lot of Nebula from the Marvel series. They have a lot of similarities to me, okay. and they both happen to be blue. So she's been a lot of fun to play. I've really enjoyed getting to play this warrior woman. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed being part of the show.
Definitely. I guess another one's on High Dive. Trust me, when High Dive make dubs, usually High Dive doesn't miss on the dub in the show. I can tell you guys. Something I love, of course, I watch all platforms, but High Dive, I always keep it in the loop closed, because the eye closed, because when they dub a series, it's going to be gold. It's going to be gold for some reason. Many times, something I like about High Dive, they accept the challenge on series, dubbing the series that Crunchyroll would not dare to dub because they are too sexy, they're too
spicy.
Spicy, yeah.
So if you want to see those series that Crunchyroll sometimes doesn't dare to stream or to dub, High Dive is your place to go. Trust me. They have a playlist called After Dark series.
Yeah, I believe so.
I love that. So, Brianna, thank you so much for joining us today. For those who are considering the voice acting career, or just a general life advice for those who are joining us today?
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to be a voice actor, first and foremost, it's acting. You have to be an actor. A lot of people don't have access, depending on where you live, to voiceover specific classes. So the first place I always tell people to start is with community theater, because most cities around have some type of community theater. And that's really the best place to get started, to get your toes wet, to start learning how to make a character, how to, journey with a character arc, how to work with others in making art. So really that is the first place to start. And then as you progress from there, you've got to start working on getting a home studio. Nowadays, you have to have a mic, you have to have, all the things. So it's an investment. So that's why you want to make sure you're ready. You already have the foundation of understanding how to act, because then you've got to start investing in your equipment. So then you can take online classes. One of the good things that came from the pandemic is many classes have now become remote. Used to, you had to be in Los Angeles or Dallas one of the hub cities where you could have in-person classes, but now there's so many amazing online classes. Real Voice LA is a really great source. realvoicela.com has great online classes. They're very affordable. So that's usually where I tell people to start, to look for online classes. If, say, you've already started doing community theater and now you're kind of ready for the next step, check them out. You're always going to be a student. Like I said earlier, I've been doing this for over a decade now. I've been stage acting my whole life, so we won't talk about how long that's been. And I still take classes. I still do private coaching with people. That's the exciting thing about acting and about art is you can always grow. You can always advance. There's new perspective. It never gets old, at least to me. There's always a new leaf to turn over. So it's an exciting career. It's really hard. There's a lot of people who are in it, especially after the pandemic when people were exposed to a lot more of this type of media. It inspired a lot of people to become voice actors. So the competition is more fierce than it ever has been before. So you've really, if you want to do it, you've got to be dedicated and ready and willing to do the work and make the investment, because it's not an easy path, because there are just so many people who are pursuing it. But it is a worthwhile endeavor.
And if you're not pursuing a voice acting career, but you just want to have a good time, go to your community theater. Trust me, guys, it is so fun. We go to our community here around where we live, and damn, it's cool. It's a very different feeling. Trust me, guys.
I still
give it a chance.
I do community theater. Even though I'm a professional actor, I love doing community theater. I directed a community theater. It's just a special experience that you can't get anywhere else.
It is so fun. You must at least try. Give it a try. You haven't done it before. Brianna, social media, where can people find you or follow you?
Voices by Bri on Twitter or X, whatever we call it these days. Instagram, also Voices by Bri. I do have a Facebook page, so I'm kind of not, Facebook's kind of going by the wayside, but it is there. I just don't really update it. So really, Twitter and Instagram are the best places to keep up with me. I also have a website, voicesbybri.com. You can reach out to me if you have a question. There's a contact form on the website on the Contact Me page. So that's all the places to find me.
And if you have a hard time catching those details, just goes down to the description of this video, expand the description, and you're going to find over there Brianna or links that are just going to copy paste those link, and you just with one click you're going to land over there on Brianna page and social media. Just make it super easy for you guys. And because you made it over there already, please, we humbly ask you for the subscribe, like, and share in our social media, Facebook, YouTube especially, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever else, Twitch, all the social media. Just go to Google, write Koki Otaku, and you're going to find everything, all our social media, and we're going to be there. We never know which convention we're going to be hitting, going to be invited. So, and because you're, in case you are interested in something, have a timeout from anime, want to try something more adrenaline, like Formula 1, Kiara new project for Koki F1, where we have an analysis of what is Formula 1, 101, what's going on at Grand Prix, all the news about rich, sexy people, millionaires racing, a very high speed, and a big drama. And because we love drama novela, we make it more fun, talking about all the gossip, what's going on here, and who's going to be kicked out, and who's going to be the next driver. So Koki F1, Kiara's new project, go ahead and check it out and have fun with us. So Brianna, thank you so much for joining. It has been a great time with you.
It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm always happy to come back and have fun with you guys.
Excellent. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Sayonara.
Bye.